Welcome back to Without a Piano. This is going to be, I think it's lesson number 8. And last time we talked about minor scales. This time we're talking about harmonic minor. And let's start off with two really important things. One is, well, actually it's one important thing, which is how to access a keyboard without a piano. So how are you going to learn about music? How are you going to learn about piano keyboard? How are you going to learn about music theory through the piano keyboard without an actual keyboard in front of you? Well, here's two potential ways. One is to draw it, which we've done before. And that's where you take a piece of lined paper, turn it on its side, and you draw the keyboard on the top. Okay, so here I've got two black, can you see that? Here I've got two black keys. And then I got 3 black keys, and then I'm going to skip that line and draw another group of 2. Without skipping a line. I'm going to skip this line, draw another group of 3, etc. Until you have a keyboard that looks like this. Okay, that's one way, and here's the other way, is to use the link or ask the PC, or I can deliver it myself, for a copy of a keyboard. This is life size, so same way that my hand fits on this here, exactly how my hand fits on the keyboard. All right, so that might be helpful. This is my favorite way because it can really get a feel for how far apart the keys are. That kind of thing. And then on top here, it has the entire 88 key keyboard to access and to reference. All right, so I, however, am going to use a real piano keyboard so that you can hear the sound of the keys, the sound of the notes. So back to the minor scale, natural minor. We're going to use the very straightforward musical alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, ending with another A. Okay, A doesn't actually happen twice in the minor scale. The actual notes in the minor scale are simply A, B, C, D, E, F, and G in the A minor scale, since we're starting on A. Just as a reminder, you can build a minor scale on any key you want. The only thing is every minor scale except for A, natural minor, has a black key in it. So that makes things a little more complicated for our purposes at this point. So we're sticking with the A natural minor and using this as a reference scale, since it's all white keys and it doesn't say sharp or flat on any of the notes. That's what we did for the natural minor scale. But we're going to change it up a little bit for the harmonic minor scale. And let's review the natural minor scale, and we're going to make one small alteration to turn it into something called the harmonic minor scale, okay? Natural minor again. All right. And harmonic minor scale goes like this. All right, so you may have noticed there's one black key in it. You go up to note number 7. You raise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then you raise that note by a half step. So instead of playing the 7th note of the natural minor scale, you're going to kick it up a half step to harmonic minor. All right, so what that does is it gives a lot of direction. It can give a lot of direction for the melody, but it especially gives direction for the harmonies. Now, I'm going to just throw this at you. You don't really need to remember this for the purposes of understanding what a harmonic minor scale is, but you know, you can listen to this a few times, or you can just, maybe you'll pick it up the first time, I don't know. But this is a minor triad, all right? We've talked about those. Now, if you build a chord on every note, if you build a triad, that means a 3-note chord. It means a skip up the scale, okay? So here's the A minor triad, skip, skip. Building a triad here, building a triad here. This one's called B diminished, don't have to remember that. This is called C major, don't have to remember that. So basically we're just staying in all the white keys and we're building a chord on each note of the A minor scale. This is D minor. This is E minor. Okay, this is a very important one. Okay, this is F major. This is G major. This is also a pretty important one. A minor. So let's revisit those two important ones I talked about. E minor. So if you're using the harmonic minor scale, each of these chords is part of a, each of these chords can create harmonies within the key of A minor. When we're creating harmonies, we'll talk more about what a harmony is in another lesson, but when we're creating harmonies, which is, okay, I'm just going to give you a quick definition. What is a harmony? It's two or more notes playing at the same time. And a lot of times, those two notes sounding at the same time result in particular feeling or direction of the music. So, okay, so this one, E minor. If we're using the harmonic minor scale, then we're not going to use this note, are we? We're going to use this note instead. So when you're here on this chord, we're going to change it to G sharp. All right? And then this is also important. I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to play what I played before, which is the G major. I'm going to use that G sharp, and it's going to turn into a G sharp diminished. The most important chord to remember is the E major, because it sounds so nice and it gives direction to the harmony. This here, right here, gives a lot of direction to the harmony. So when you find that musical example in a piece of music, you feel a little bit of momentum, only because this is a much smaller distance to go from here to here. So it's almost like you anticipate this next note. This is actually called a leading tone. It's the last note of the scale before it resolves to the tonic. The tonic is note number 1. All right, so the leading tone. I'm throwing a whole lot of information at you this time. But the most important takeaways of today's lesson are that you can make a harmonic minor scale by taking the 7th scale degree of a natural minor scale, raising it a half step, playing this one instead, and then resolving to the tonic. All right? If you want to build it the same way we built traditional major and minor scales, we can do that. A, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step. Oh my gosh. This is a minor third or an augmented second. And then back to the tonic, half step at the end. Let's see. I think that'll do it. I said the major takeaways. Oh yeah, okay. So there's the scale, how to convert the scale into harmonic minor, which is to take the natural minor and raise that 7th scale degree a half step. And then the other important thing to take away from this is that when you get to chord number 5, actually don't even know if I mentioned that, within this minor scale, within, for example, the A minor scale, chord number 5 of any natural minor scale, you take the middle note here, which is the 7th scale degree of the natural minor scale, you raise it by a half step. Create this triad, this chord instead, because it creates more momentum in the harmony. And you hear this a lot in classical music. Oops, not that. It's very rare that you hear natural minor in classical music. But I will go ahead and say that a lot of popular music today uses the natural minor scale. There's really been a return to natural minor. It's all over the place in pop music, which is very interesting to me. But harmonic minor, I feel like pop music's probably going to go back in that direction at some point as well. But that's all for today. All right, thanks everybody. Keep up the good work and the good practice. Yeah, I would recommend a good practice for this week before I release the next lesson would be to, let's see, take a natural minor scale. You can go back to the previous lesson for how to build one. You can just fast forward through and look at the titles. You can find the whole step, half step combination for minor scale if you don't remember it. And take that seventh scale, that last step. Okay, so build a minor scale and then take that last scale degree, the last note of the scale before you go back to the tonic or the note name that the scale is named after. Take that seventh scale degree, raise it by a half step. Okay, that would be good practice or homework. Until next time.